Sairam students, welcome back to your online session. Children, we had already started lesson number 2, the electoral process. Children, in part 1, we had learned how elections have played a major role in the working of democracy. We had also studied about the representatives whom we elect. They should be efficient, trustworthy, they should respect others' opinions. Yes, and the election commission, it is given the responsibility to administer the electoral process. Yes, and president appoints the election commissioners. So the election commission, it is having the responsibility to conduct the electoral process. Children, in part 1, we had just started with the functions of the election commission. Yes, now let's quickly revise the first function which we had learnt in our part 1. Now children, the first function is preparing the voters list. So the election commission, the first function is to prepare the voters list. So now children, in the first chapter, working of the constitution, you had studied that when a citizen, he attains 18 years of age, he has the right to vote. So every Indian citizen who has completed 18 years of age has a right to vote. But children, just you complete 18 years of age, you cannot go and vote. You have to register yourself. Your name should be registered. It should be included in the voters list. So you have to fill a form. Some application form is there, or nowadays everything is online. Yes, so online application form, you have to fill the details, right? So every Indian citizen who has completed 18 years of age has a right to vote. To exercise the right to vote, citizen's name must be in the voters list. So the first important function of election commission is to prepare the voters list, wherein the names of the citizens, those who have attained 18 years of age, their names are included in the voters list. And it is the responsibility of the election commission to prepare the list of eligible voters, updating the existing voters list, and include the names of new voters. Now updating the existing voters list, now for example children, you are staying in Mumbai, right? So your names should be included in the voters list of Mumbai, right? Suppose you have shifted to another state, then it has to be updated, right? Then your name should be included in that voters list. So updation is required. And suppose if some citizens, those who have attained 18 years of age, and if they have filled the application form, then their names are to be included in the voters list. So all updation has to be done in the voters list, and it is done by the election commission. The election commission has the authority to issue the identity cards to the voters. I had told you in your part 1 that when you go for elections, your parents, your parents might have experiences that when they go for voting, they have to carry their identity cards. They are given some voters ID, so they have to carry that. And even Aadhaar card, this is very important. That is, it is a proof that you are the resident of this country. So you have to carry identity card, that is the voters ID, and even Aadhaar card. Yes, so because you have to show that you are the citizen of this country, you have to show the proof, right? So this is, we have completed in your part 1. That is the first function. What is the first function of the election commission? To prepare the voters list. Okay, now the second function of the election commission, second function is to decide the timetable and the program of elections. Now elections, okay, the process, they have to administer the election process, right? So the election commission, it decides the timetable and the program of elections. The conduct of elections is entirely the responsibility of the election commission. Yes, so who is responsible for conducting the elections? It is the election commission. So the conduct of elections is entirely the responsibility of the Election Commission. The Election Commission decides when to conduct elections and in how many stages to hold elections in every state. So here children, the Election Commission, it decides when to conduct the elections. That is, what will be the date and in how many stages. Now here children, how many stages? Because India is a vast country, so it is not possible to have elections at all the places at same time. Yes, so it is the elections are held in different stages. So in how many stages to hold the elections? In every state. So that is decided by the Election Commission. So the Election Commission, it decides when to conduct elections and in how many stages to hold elections in every state. So he will decide the dates and in how many stages the elections will be carried in every state. So the second function is decide the timetable and the program of elections. Now the third function, scrutiny of applications of candidates. So scrutiny means what? Scrutiny means he will check the applications. Okay. So now after the election dates are declared, once the Election Commission, it declares the dates of elections, every political party selects the candidates to contest elections. So what will the political party do among themselves? They will choose one candidate who will contest the elections, right? So what he has to do now, this candidate, whoever will be contesting the election, he has to fill a application form. Okay. Now once again let us revise. Scrutiny of the application of candidates. After the election dates are declared, every political party selects the candidates to contest elections. Some candidates contest the elections independently without the support of any political party. So children, there could be some candidates, those who don't have the support of any political party, they can also conduct elections. They can also, contest elections, okay, independently. It is not necessary that they should be a part of a political party. So even independently, they could contest the elections. Candidates of political parties as well as independent candidates have to fill the applications which include the information about their self. Now this is very important children. Whichever candidate wants to fight for the election, they have to fill the application form, and in that application form they have to give the information about their own self, that is about their age, about their assets, about their property, whether they have any criminal background. Yes, so all these details are to be given in the application form. Children, why it is required? Suppose if any candidate, it has an criminal background, okay, then he can misuse the power. Suppose if he is elected, he can misuse the power and he can adopt the corrupt practices, or he can even threaten the voters to vote during the election race. So the candidates information is a must in application form. Then the Election Commission, when he will check, that is when he scrutinizes, if he feels that he is having a criminal background, he might misuse the power once he is elected, so he can disqualify him. Okay, the form will be cancelled by the Election Commission, right? So the candidates of political parties as well as independent candidates have to fill the applications which include information about their own self. So in that information they have to include what things they have to include, what information they have to provide. They have to provide the information about their assets, then about their age, criminal background. Why they have to give all these details? Because they might misuse the power and they might adopt the corrupt practices, right, if they are elected. And they can also threaten the voters during the election process. So due to these reasons, it is very important that they have to fill all the details, and when the Election Commission checks that, okay, if he feels, he can cancel that form, that candidate can be disqualified from contesting the elections. So this is very important children. Application that is application forms, which are to be filled by the candidates. Now, the Election Commission scrutinizes all the applications and allows the eligible candidates to contest the election. So, the eligible, who is eligible, they can contest the elections. Okay, now the fourth function of the Election Commission, give recognition to political parties. What is the fourth function? Give recognition to political parties. Now children, in our country, we have a multi-party system. Multi-party system means many parties they function in our country. We don't have one party or two party system. We have multi-party system. Now children, let us see what is this multi-party system. If several parties compete for power and more than two parties have reasonable chance of winning, we call it a multi-party system. So, if there are many parties they compete for power and more than two political parties they have reasonable chance of winning, we call it a multi-party system. And in India, we have a multi-party system. Since multi-party system tend to offer more choices to voters, it is often considered better than other party system. So we have multi-party system in our country. New parties continue to be formed. Split in the parties results in the formation of new parties. Now children, these new parties, whenever they emerge, they have to register themselves with the election commission. Now split in parties result in the formation of new parties. Split in parties, now for example, I'll give an example children. Maharashtra Navnirman Sena, it's an example of a split party. It is being split from Shiv Sena, right? And even the Congress, Indian National Congress, then from Indian National Congress, there's another party which has been, it's an example of a split party, that is Nationalist Congress Party led by Sharad Pawar. So, that split in the parties also result in formation of new parties. Okay, but these new parties, these political parties, they have to register themselves with the election commission. All political parties are required to be recognized by the election commission. Now, recognized by the election commission, children, what is the criteria for recognition of a political party to be a national party or a state party? You will be learning in your next chapter in detail about it. So, all the political parties are required to be recognized by the election commission. Election Commission also has a right to de-recognize any political party. It can disqualify if they are not fulfilling the criteria. The Election Commission also allots election symbols to the political parties. Now children, these election symbols are given to the political parties. For example, you all know that BJP, it has a symbol of a lotus, then Congress, it has a symbol of a hand, right? So these election symbols are allotted. Yes, why these election symbols are allotted children? Now children, suppose in our country children, all people are not educated, right? So literacy level is not so high in our country. Therefore there are so many people, they cannot read. Yes, so if the political parties are given the election symbol, they can just identify that symbol and they can vote. Okay, they cannot read the names of the candidates. So to see to it that the election process goes in a smooth manner, or elections are conducted in a smooth manner, the political parties, they are given a symbol so that the voters can identify that symbols and they will vote for that. Okay, so that's why the symbols are given to the political parties. Now children, in your textbook children, there are some questions given in the boxes, even that could appear in your examination children. Now just have a look at this. Why is it so? Some constituencies are kept reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Now children, here even these people, that is scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, they should also be a part of this election process, or they should also be the candidates from this category also should have the right to contest the elections. So from this category, that is from scheduled castes and scheduled tribes also, the candidates, they can contest the elections. Otherwise their progress will be hindered, right? So even they should progress, they should not be deprived of anything. So there are certain constituencies which are kept reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Every political party has an election symbol. I just told you that why every political party is given an election symbol, because in India there are many people, those who are uneducated, they are not literate. So children, they cannot read the names of the candidates. Therefore, they are given the election symbol. So they can just look at that symbol and they can identify whom they are supposed to vote, because they cannot read the name of the candidates. Now, next one. At the time of voting and counting of votes, the official representatives of political parties remain present. Okay. Now, here children, when election is taken place, on that day, the representatives of political parties remain present. You can see there are some agents, and they are the representatives of the political parties. So they sit there and they observe that whether any malpractice is being conducted or any bogus voting, that all things should not be conducted during the election. So they see to it that the voting is going on in a proper manner, there is no cheating going on, no bogus voting going on. So they have to keep a track of what is going on in the election booth. Then recognized parties have equal opportunity to present their side before media such as television and radio. See children, here the parties which are recognized, they are having the right that they are having the opportunity to present their side, that why they should be elected. So they have some taglines. I'll give you some examples. So these recognized parties have equal opportunity to present their side before media such as television and radio. So that is during the election campaign. These parties, they are having a right to justify that why they should be elected, and why they should have a why they should be elected, and why they should rule, why they should be the government. Okay. Now for example, general election slogans. Now see here, these are some taglines. Okay, so that to lure the people or the voters so that they can vote for them. Okay, they are having the right in the election campaigns. They are, these recognized parties, they have the right that they can do publicity in the media, that is the television, radio, newspaper, right? So some taglines are given. For example, just see here in 2019, फिर एक बार मोदी सरकार, right? These are some taglines so that people know whom they should vote for. अब होगा न्याय. Okay, all such slogans are given, or these are the taglines. Okay, अब एक बार मोदी सरकार, मैं नहीं हम, हर साथ, हर हाथ शक्ति, हर हाथ तरक्की. Okay, so these are some of the slogans. Now for example, see in 2011 by the Trinamool Congress, माँ माटी मनुष्य. Then आम आदमी पार्टी, 5 साल केजरीवाल. Then BJP, सबको देखा बारी बारी, अब की बारी अटल बिहारी. Then 1965, when you all know the slogan by Lal Bahadur Shastri, Jai Jawan Jai Kisan. 1971 again Congress, Garibi Hatao. So these are some of the slogans or the taglines which these political parties, they are having the opportunity to keep their side, that why they should be elected in the elections. Okay, so basically to make the voters attract towards them, that why they should be elected. So they are representing themselves. That is okay, absolutely fine. In an election campaign they can do this, no problem at all. Children, the fifth function, to resolve any disputes relating to elections. Now here children, resolve means he will solve, that is the election commission, it solves any disputes relating to elections. Now the election commission has a responsibility of resolving any disputes that might arise regarding elections. If there are any disputes, any problems, so he has to, the election commission has to solve that disputes which may arise regarding elections. Accordingly, to declare any candidate as disqualified or conduct a re-election in a particular constituency, is a responsibility of the election commission. Now, why can a candidate be disqualified? I had given you an example. Suppose they belong from a criminal background. So, if election commission feels that they can for example, they could follow the corrupt practices, or they can threaten the voters for voting. So for avoiding all such things in near future, so the election commission is having the right that they can totally disqualify the candidate, and again re-election is conducted in a particular constituency. So that is a responsibility of the election commission. He has to take care of all these things. Okay, so now children, today we had learned the functions of election commission. Okay, now the first function was preparing the voters list. Second, decide the timetable and program of elections. Third, scrutiny of application of the candidates. Fourth, give recognition to political parties. And fifth, to resolve any disputes relating to elections. So these are the 5 functions of election commission. So children, it is very important that we all should vote. Voting is our duty as well as a responsibility. It's a responsibility that we all should go and vote. All means not all. When you attain 18 years of age and when you get the voter's ID, then you will vote, right? But others, I'm talking in general. So it is our duty, because we are electing our representatives. Okay, we are giving the government in their hands, so they have to run the country. So if we choose a wrong candidate, then the country has to suffer. So our administration should be proper. Therefore, we have to choose a correct candidate. So it is our responsibility that we should go and vote. So it is our duty as well as our responsibility that we are supposed to vote. Now children, just you should know this. Shyam Sharan Negi from Himachal Pradesh was the first voter of India. He exercised his right to vote on 25th October 1951 in Lok Sabha elections. So here you should remember this. Normally it comes in the fill in the blanks. Okay, so Shyam Sharan Negi from Himachal Pradesh, he was the first voter of India, and he exercised his right to vote on 25th October 1951 in Lok Sabha elections. Yes, just have a look at the first voter, Shyam Sharan Negi from Himachal Pradesh. Yes, so everyone, it is a duty of everybody to vote for the correct candidate. Yes, so children, today we had completed with the functions of election commission. Okay, now the remaining part, children, will be continuing in the next class. Okay, thank you my dear students. Meet you in the next class.